Now let's bring in Martin Biron to talk about Canada's goalies.
Yep.
And we've heard various opinions, but Marty, who do you think starts game one, and who do you think this trio stacks up against the Americans, Swedes, and Finns?
Well, obviously, they're number 4 when you look at the Americans being number 1. The Finns and the Swedish goaltending is really strong as well. But when I look at who starts the first game of the tournament, and I can only say if the tournament started now, because in February, it could be a different story. But Adin Hill would be my game 1 starter for Team Canada. You have to watch what Adin Hill has done in the last 7 games. He's 5-1-1 with a 1.7 goals against average and a .935 save percentage. Those are quality numbers that will get you to be the number 1 starting goaltender with Team Canada at the Four Nations Face-Off. Look, he didn't start the season well and worked his way almost to the top 10 in goals save above expectation. So he is the most dominant of the 3 goaltenders that are expected to be on that team when you look at Jordan Binnington and Samuel Montembeault. So I would go with Adin Hill, and the fact that he won a Stanley Cup just 2 years ago, also has played big games and knows the pressure of being put in that situation.
That experience goes a long way, of course. There's no shortage of chemistry between Cale Makar and Devon Toews, and who are also on the top unit in Colorado, Alex Pietrangelo, Shea Theodore, both from the Golden Knights. So, Marty, how important will chemistry be in a short tournament like this?
It's going to be huge because you're going to go in not playing any preseason games, barely practicing, and you have to start game 1 and you have to have results, right? So you look at Devon Toews and Cale Makar. They're probably going to start the tournament together, but there's so much talent on that blue line that at any moment, even in game 1, you can change things around if it's not going the way you want to, or if you just want to try something else because of later in the tournament, wanting to see if you can get an edge on the other teams. So I'm not, really looking at it as saying, okay, it's going to be Toews and Makar for sure. I think that Cale Makar can play with anybody, Devon Toews can play with anybody, and that group of 7 can come in and out of the lineup at any moment. So yeah, it's going to be helpful because your tendencies, how each other are playing. So if you play together in the regular season, you go into the tournament, it's going to be helpful, and it could be a huge factor. But I think at any moment, Team Canada could switch their deep pairing, and it would still get some wonderful results because they're all fantastic athletes.
Yeah, it's great to have options there. And now looking at the roster overall, is there a hole or anything you see that could be a problem for Canada?
Well, I mean, a hole, right? Goaltending. They're 4th, in my opinion, on the 4 teams. But if there is a hole, I don't know if that I can call it a hole, is that Team Canada decided to go in the 4th line with more of a defensive responsibilities, physical aspect, especially with Bennett and Konechny and Anthony Cirelli in the middle. Well, when you look at the U.S. roster or projected roster, you see that they've got scoring on all 4 lines. So are you going to strictly dispatch Cirelli in a defensive responsibility and think that they can get the job done? So I think like the U.S., if one line doesn't score, the other 3 can go ahead and score and do the job. But Team Canada decided to go that route. I think that may be the slight hole that is in the roster, knowing that this line has one responsibility and that's played great defensively. I think that may be the one little setback with the roster.